The Battle of Gunnington was a battle during the Second Civil War between the Kuomintang and the Communist Party. It took place from October 25 to 31, 1949. It was located in the Kinmen Islands. The battle ended with the victory of the National Army. It was a rare major victory for the National Army in the late Civil War. The cause of the battle was that, after the People's Liberation Army captured Xiamen, preparing to attack Kinmen, the Chinese army only had one garrison in Kinmen, 50,000 people, while the People's Liberation Army's offensive troops exceed 40,000, with a huge disparity in strength. The National Army relied on excellent luck and adopted flexible defensive tactics, and finally won the victory. The M5A1 tank played a key role in the Battle of Gunnington. The M5A1 tank is a light tank developed and produced by the United States during World War II. Equipped with a 37mm main gun. After World War II, the U.S. military left many of these tanks in the Philippines, Guam, and Okinawa. Since the cost of shipping them back to the United States is too high, and they have no use, most of them are left to be scrapped naturally. At that time, Chief of Staff of the Armored Command of the Republic of China, Jiang Weigua, just negotiate with the United States to buy these tanks and ship them to Shanghai, where they will be piled at the Qiujiang Pier. Each tank battalion rebuilt by the National Army will find usable vehicles and parts on its own. Renovate and assemble. Among them, the 1st Battalion of the 3rd Tank Regiment assembled 22 M5A1 tanks. October 24, 1949 Army Unit 2878 and its number 66 tank stayed at Gunnington Beach due to anchorage for repairs. Chariots number 64 and number 65 in the same platoon accompanied and guarded. At around 0:30 a.m. on October 25th, the crew of a Chinese military tank anchored at Lunko Beach noticed 2 red flares fired from the sea. So the tank crew immediately entered the combat position and fired back. Due to the breakdown of tank number 66, the fort has been facing the beach. Tank shooter Xiong Jinqiu boarded the tank under the instruction of the platoon leader. Just loaded an armor-piercing bomb instead of a high-explosive bomb. Reflexively, he stepped on the trigger on his foot and fired the first shot at the CCP motorboat. This shot accurately hit the mainmast of a large motorboat of the Communist Army. The canvas then ignited, lighting up the nearby sea, and a large number of CCP aircraft, sailboats, and machine gun attacks. Upon seeing this, the officers and soldiers of the 601st Regiment of the 201st Division, which was responsible for guarding Kinmen, landed the People's Liberation Army troops on the coast at the light of the fire and conducted focus fire. In the Battle of Gunnington, the powerful firepower of the M5A1 tank effectively blocked the PLA's attack and caused a large number of casualties. The heroic performance of the M5A1 tank made a significant contribution to the victory of the Chinese army and was awarded the honorary title of Bear of Kinmen. In view of the fact that the M5A1 tank in this battle played a decisive role at a critical moment, the Taiwan Army has always owned a large number of U.S.-made and domestically produced tanks from M41, M60A3 CM11, etc., and what this episode will introduce, the M1A2T Abrams main heavy tank purchased by Taiwan from the United States. A total of 108 heavy tanks in this batch. It is expected to be delivered in 2024 and deployed in the north to prevent the communist troops from landing. The M1A2T is an improved version of the M1A2, the main combat vehicle of the U.S. Army, with stronger fire protection and mobility. The M12T tank is equipped with a 120mm M256 smoothbore main gun that can fire armor-piercing rounds, high explosive rounds, and other special rounds. The tank is equipped with an advanced fire control system, so this time it can accurately strike long-distance targets without relying on luck. What else did the M1A2T purchase worth more than $65 billion buy for Taiwan? In addition to combat vehicles, 7,862 rounds of KEW-A1 wing-stabilized discarding sabot armor-piercing rounds. After all, the first shot of Gunnington's victory was fired by an armor-piercing bullet, so this decision is very reasonable. KEW-A1 is a 120mm kinetic energy armor-piercing projectile produced in the United States for export. The overall design is derived from the M829, but uses a tungsten alloy armor-piercing core instead of decaying uranium. Penetration is higher than M829, but slightly lower than M829A1. The United States will not export M829 decay uranium armor-piercing sabots, APFSDs, containing radioactive materials, so it has to replace them with KEW-A1 and the more expensive A2. Like countries that import M1 series tanks have armor-piercing ammunition available. The penetration of M829 against vertically placed homogeneous armor at a distance of 2 km is 540 mm RHA. The performance of KEW-A1 is better. If ordinary tanks are engaged in a battle, the shooting will be carried out within a distance of about 1 km. Then this shell can penetrate the frontal armor of the Type 96 tanks currently in service in the Communist Army, including the ZBD-05 amphibious infantry fighting vehicle. The targets that combat vehicles need to deal with include, in addition to the enemy's main combat vehicles, infantry fighting vehicles, or lightly armored wheeled vehicles that came ashore earlier and have thin armor. If you use armor-piercing projectiles to attack, the projectiles will easily penetrate the car body and cannot convert kinetic energy to the target, causing damage. Over-penetration in military terms. Therefore, Taiwan also purchased 828 rounds of M830A1 multi-purpose grenades. This is like the heat armor-piercing grenade commonly used by tank soldiers. The 830A1 has multiple uses, including anti-light tanks, anti-infantry, anti-fortifications, and anti-surface air targets, etc. The warhead is made of high explosives and can effectively destroy hard targets. The fragments of the artillery can kill the occupants of the vehicle. Since the M830A1 can be converted into an air explosion mode, the grenade will detonate in the air when approaching the target, making it more effective against infantry in foxholes, and even against low-flying helicopters. In the Battle of Gunnington, the Communist Army gave full play to its proficiency in human sea tactics. Therefore, the 1966 round M1028 personnel anti-personnel bomb is also a must-buy. This is a 12.7mm tank-specific shotgun used by the U.S. military. Mainly used to attack personnel and lightly armored targets. The projectile consists of an aluminum alloy shell and 1,110mm tungsten projectiles. There is a projectile dispersion device on the warhead. Can cause projectiles to spread in a fan shape after leaving the muzzle. The M1028 anti-personnel bomb is very powerful. After all, it is fired from a tank cannon. 10mm tungsten projectiles can easily penetrate body armor and cause serious damage to the human body. However, the disadvantage of using M1028 personnel anti-personnel bombs is that it easily causes collateral damage. Due to the large dispersion range of the projectiles, friendly troops or civilians may be accidentally injured when used. In addition, the cost of the M1028 personnel anti-personnel bomb is also relatively high. In order to prevent the Communist Army from using drones or personnel to conduct sneak attacks. Taiwan M1A2T Abrams main tank. Crow's LP low-profile remote-controlled weapon station was installed. This is a remote-control weapon station developed by the American Raytheon Company. The height of Crow's LP is lower than other remote-control weapon stations.
featured widely across armored vehicles.
It can reduce the risk of the tank being discovered and hit by the enemy. It can be quickly installed and disassembled, and flexibly adjust according to battlefield needs. It ships with 7 62mm 12.7mm machine gun or 40mm grenade launcher. Crow's LP can effectively attack a variety of targets. Its greatest role is to protect tank operators from enemy melee damage. It is widely used by the U.S. Army and Marine Corps, and is also exported to other countries. Overall, the Taiwanese National Army learned from the Battle of Guningtou how to use tanks to fight against the possibility of the communist troops landing on the island. From M5A1 to M1A2T, from Kinmen Bear to Taiwan Tiger, the imported M1A2T's reinforced armor can not only resist attacks from enemy artillery and anti-tank missiles. The tank is also equipped with advanced protection systems to resist chemical, biological, and even nuclear attacks. The mobility of the M1A2T tank has also been greatly improved. Advanced communications and electronic systems improve battlefield survivability. The introduction of the M1A2T tank will mark the new armored combat capability of the Army of the Republic of China. If the People's Liberation Army wants to confront the M1A2T, it can only send a large number of 99A main tanks to the landing point in the first wave of offensive. This is undoubtedly quite difficult. Otherwise, comparing the results of Guningtou, the troops landing on the island would only be sending their heads away. This episode comes to an end. Welcome to leave a message and discuss in the comment area. Thank you for watching. See you next time.